Hello everyone, my name is Michael. In this demo, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the project model in Trenity. As you can see, I've logged into Trenity and this is the project's dashboard. This is where you can see at a glance, all the projects that are going on in your TRE. You can check their progress and you can just, quickly navigate to projects of interest through the dashboard. I'm going to go to the management module now. If I click on projects, and one thing to know is that the project management module in Trenity, it has two components to it. We've got the project manager and the task manager, both of which are tightly integrated with each other. So this is the project manager. This is where you can add a new project. You can view the list of all your projects. You can search for projects. You can filter projects. You can see both active and archive projects, right from the project manager. So I'm going to go into one of the projects just to give you, show you some of the features of the project manager model. So if I click on a project, let me go back. I want to click on project 3 actually. That has more information in it. So I'm going to go to a project here. And once you get into a project, you're just going to get a good information. You're going to get a good information about the project. You can see the project name, the project ID, the start date, the end date, the project status, the priority of the project, and also the category of the project. This is a secured project, and that matters a lot in Trenity. So the category of the project determines what data you can access in Trenity. So if you've got a project that is an open project, that project cannot be given access to a secure asset or secure data. But if you've got a project that is a secured project, then that project can have both access to secure and open data. And that is just a control we put in the projects model to help to make it easier for people to grant access without making mistakes. So you're going to see the project summary here. Next thing you're going to see is the tags. Again, like the asset model, these tags can be both regular and conditional tags. So you can enforce metadata to your projects as well. So if you want every project to have a funding tag to display where the funding is coming from, you can add a conditional tag and make it mandatory for everyone who is creating a project to add a funding tag in there. So that is something you can do with the tags, the scope tags. The next pane is the asset pane. So here you can see the assets that this project has got access to. Like I explained in the asset model, every access is given to data through the project. So you need to belong to a project to get access to the data. So this particular project has got access to this data on this table here. And I think there's more here. So 6 data sets this particular project has got access to. The next tab is the task pane. So we have created some sort of agile project management into this into the project manager. So for teams that prefer to work in an agile fashion or break down bigger projects into tasks or smaller tasks, this is a feature that they would really like. So we've got tasks, we've got milestones as well built into the project management module. And here discussion, this is where you can talk to your collaborators of the project. You can talk to them there. You can see the project lead, the project members, the milestones actually affect the progress of the project. So if you're starting a project, you want to break down your work into milestones, which will give the project managers or the admin an understanding of where you are with your project. So if you have 5 milestones, the system is going to calculate that as a 20% each milestone. So if you complete 2 milestones, then your progress will likely be based on that milestone completion. The next tab I'm going to show you is the literature tab, and this is where you just put your notes about the project, abstract, objectives of the project, the funding, and then when the project is over, you can add your conclusions to this space, and all these things can be exported out into a PDF just so that you can keep a record of the projects that are going on in your environment. The next tab I'm going to show you is the files tab, and this is just a this is just a storage center for the project. So all your files that you're going to be working with while you're doing this project will be stored here. So you can create folders, you can you can upload files, you can download files. So this is your project file storage. The next tab is the access tab, and this is where you add a new member to project. So you can see the project lead, which is identified by this star. So you've got a project lead here, and you can add and remove members from this tab. So you can add new members to a project or remove members, existing members from the project. And also you can make you can make regular members lead of project, things like that. The next tab is the task tab, and this is where you can create a new task. You can break down your work into smaller pieces, and we got both the list, and we also have a Kanban board. So if you're used to doing things in an agile way, you can have that your way. You can put a display to Kanban and make it easier for you to manage tasks and assign tasks to user, and you can just do that here as well. Let me just show you what the task looks like. So this is what a task will look like. You can create your description. You can even create subtasks in the task as well if you want to break it down further. The next tab is the resource tab, and what this is all about is just a good way or an easier way to assign resources to project. So say a project is starting and it needs access to certain virtual machines or data science VMs or things like that, or databases. You can create your resources using the resource manager, and then you can assign those resources to projects or to users depending on how you want to do it. So this is just going to make it easier for you to assign resources to project. And what we're trying to do here is to make an all-inclusive workspace for TRE project management. That way, your users or your researchers never need to leave the project workspace to do anything, because everything is right in the workspace. The resources they need, the VMs they need, the information they need will be in the project workspace. So they really do not need to switch to any other tool or switch to any other system to achieve their goals while in the TRE. So the next tab is a discussion tab, and this is where you can have discussion with with the project lead or your fellow collaborators. Then we have the updates tab. The project lead can provide updates, general updates about the project here, notice board as well. Information that is relating to the project can be put in this place. And what makes the project manager in Trenity different from other project managers, because I'm sure some of the features you're seeing, you might be thinking about it. Yes, there are other tools out there that have these features and all that, but what makes Trenity really stand out is the two tabs I'm going to talk about next. And I'm going to start with the results tab. And this is where things begin to get TRE focused, right? So when you're done with your research, how do you bring out that research from the TRE? It starts with the result tab. So say you're working on a project and you've got your project lead and you're done with your research. Now you have an output that needs to get out of the environment. It starts with the result tab. You upload your files to the result tab as a user, and then when you upload the file, the first point of check in Trenity is from the project lead. So if you're a collaborator in this project, you would upload your file to the results tab, and the project lead will have to approve that file for export. So that is the first step. So when you upload your file into the results tab, in this case, I'm the project lead of this project. So I'm going to come here. I can download the file, take a look at it, make sure that everything is fine with the file that the user, the collaborator is trying to, or the researcher is trying to output. Once I'm sure that everything is fine, I'm going to come in here and approve that file. I don't need to approve everything that is here. I can just approve that one file that is there and say, okay, I've taken a look at this file and this file is good for output. And then I'm going to approve that file, and I'm going to have some statements that I'm going to need to agree to here. So if I click on this and then I approve that. So that is the first stage of the output process. Now that the file is approved by the project lead, the next thing is the user who has uploaded the file can come to the request tab and say, you know what, I want to create a request for output. And what they're going to do is you're going to come here and then click on outbound, which means egress, and click there, and then they're going to have this form. Now what you will notice is that only approved files can be attached to outbound request. So if the file was not approved by the project lead, it will not be visible in the files pane here. So only files that have been approved. So I'm going to go back again. And just show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go back quickly just to show you what I'm talking about here. If I go back to the project and I go back to the results tab, I'm going to unapprove all these other files here. Just unapprove them. just so that they are in the pending state. Unapprove, unapprove this as well. And we have only two files that have been approved, this one and that one. So I'm going to approve this one as well, and I'm going to just approve this one, that and that. So we've got just two files that are in the approved status here. So if I go to the request and try to create an outbound egress request, all I will get are the two files that are approved, as you can see. So these are the only files that I can put a request for. So if I click on this one, I say I want to request that one, and I can just fill out my request and start my process. I don't want to go too deep into the transfer process yet. I'll do that in another video, but understand that the results and the request tab are part of the transfer process here. But one of the things we're trying to do is to make sure that the users are able to do this from the project workspace. So typically you would have users log into a different system to start the transfer process, to do things like, verifying reviewing the transfer and approving of the transfer request, all done in a different system. But what we have here is an inclusive system that has everything that the researchers will need while they are working. So those two tabs are what are really the unique sides of Trenity. And then the last tab is the activity. So here you can see everything going on in the project, what everyone is doing in that project. So if you want to get a good audit trail of what people are doing with the project, this is where you will see that. So like I said, it's a very simple and easy way to manage projects in the TRE. So if you're like a data manager managing a number of projects, this will just make your life a lot easier, because you can come in here, you can provide assistance to your projects, you can release transfer request. You can just get a good feel of everything going on in your environment. So in another video, I'm going to share much more about the transfer process, how it works, what happens next when you create a transfer request, egress and ingress, just to show you how easy it is to do those things in Trenity. Again, thank you for watching, and hope to do another video. Thank you very much. Bye.